Yesterday, I published a video about the official skills repository, the format's own authors finally showing everyone how an instruction file should be written. Short bodies, trigger-loaded descriptions push the precision into scripts. Whisper instead of shout. I thought that was the end of the story. Then I opened GitHub this morning, and the #1 repository in the world, above the agent frameworks, above the model releases, above everything, is a single skill written by one person, not a lab, not a company, not a framework. One folder, one instruction file, and 1,600 stars in a day. It draws diagrams, 27 kinds of them. And I want to be honest about why I dropped everything to read it. This is the first real test of the thing I said yesterday. I spent a whole video arguing that the official craft was the new bar. Here's an independent developer publishing into that exact moment, hitting #1 on the strength of a single file. So does it follow the rules? 3 findings, and they're not what I expected walking in. First, on the loudest, most quoted rule in skill writing, this file breaks the guidance outright. And I'm going to argue it's right too. There's a number I measured that's going to make half the people watching wince, and it's the most interesting thing in the repository. Second, on the deepest rule, the one almost nobody follows, it doesn't just comply, it out-executes the official set. I measured the exact ratio, and it's the single best demonstration I've seen of how a skill is supposed to be structured. 3 numbers tell the whole story. And third, the thing it does that nobody else is doing at all. Before it will draw anything for you, it stops and refuses. There's a sentence in the file explaining why, and it's one of the most quietly professional things I've read in an instruction file this month. Plan what it actually is, the compliance audit against the official spec, the 2 gates that make it good, the scripts, what happens when a skill starts refusing work, who pays, and the honest limits. Standards note, I pulled the full repository this morning and read all of it. The instruction file, all 37 reference documents, every script, the licenses. Quotes are verbatim from those files. I did not install or run it. Let's go. What it actually is. The repository is one skill. Its job, turn a request for a diagram into a standalone HTML file with inline vector graphics architecture diagrams, flowcharts, sequence diagrams, state machines, timelines, swim lanes, quadrants, org charts, funnels, Gantt charts, scatter plots, and about 15 more, 27 types. It also imports, point it at existing diagram files from the popular drawing tool, or at diagram as text source, and it redraws them, your choice of output format, canvas size, slide, social card, document, print, and level of detail, described in the file as either faithful reproduction or simplified for the audience's technical level. That last option is a genuinely thoughtful idea, the same architecture drawn once for engineers and once for an executive. And the README claims something worth noting. One skill, 3 different agents. It gives install paths for the coding agent. This format came from plus 2 others, which is exactly the convergence this channel has been tracking all year. The format has escaped its origin. A skill is now a portable artifact, not a product feature. The whole thing is MIT, and it ships with a security policy and a third-party license file for a diagram skill. Hold that thought, it comes back. The audit part 1, the rule it breaks. Yesterday, I quoted the official guidance on the description field, the metadata that lives permanently in the model's context for every skill you install. The published figure, name and description together, around 100 words. That's the permanent tax, and it's why the official set keeps descriptions tight. I measured this one. The description is 144 words. It doesn't just exceed the guidance. It exceeds it while listing every single one of the 27 type names. Architecture, flowchart, sequence, state machine, and on, plus the import file extensions, plus the output formats, plus the canvas sizes, plus a mention of the setup gate, plus the extras. One field, 144 words, permanently loaded. Now, my first reaction was that this is the classic amateur mistake, stuffing everything into the trigger. My second reaction, after actually thinking about the mechanics, is that it's correct, and the guidance is the thing that's incomplete. Here's why. Remember the confession from the official file, the model under triggers. It fails to reach for skills that would help, and the official fix was to write descriptions that lean, deliberately pushy, listing the contexts where the skill should fire. Now ask what this skill's trigger surface actually is. Not one phrase, 27 of them. Someone says, draw me a swim lane. Someone says, make a radar chart. Someone says, I need an org chart. If those words are not in the description, they are not in the model's context, and the skill does not fire. A generic description would make 25 of its 27 types invisible. So this isn't padding, it's surface area, deliberately purchased, and the trade is explicit, pay maybe 50 extra words of permanent context, in exchange for every one of your capabilities being reachable. For a skill this broad, that's a bargain. And I'd argue it teaches a refinement of the official rule. The description budget isn't a word count, it's one entry per thing the skill can do. Narrow skill, short description, 27 capabilities, 27 triggers. The tax scales with the surface, and it should. The Audit Part 2, the rule it nails with 3 numbers. Now the deepest principle from the official spec and the one almost no community skill respects. 3 levels, metadata always loaded, the instruction body loaded on trigger, and bundled resources loaded only as needed, with the crucial line, scripts can execute without loading. Most skills we've read this month are one giant file. Everything, always on every trigger. So I measured this one's 3 levels, and these are the numbers I'd put on a slide. The instruction file, 32 kilobytes. That's what loads when the skill fires. The reference library, 484 kilobytes, across 37 documents, 1 for each diagram type, plus onboarding, output specification, import procedures, the style guide, and 4 drawing primitives. And the file states the loading rule in plain language. Type-specific conventions live in the references folder and are loaded only when you pick a type. Then, in the drawing flow, always load the relevant type file before drawing. The examples, 1.5 megabytes of finished HTML diagrams, 3 variants of each type, light, dark, and full editorial, never loaded into context at all. They exist so a human can browse a gallery and so the model has something to point at. So the ratio is roughly 1 part loaded, 15 parts on demand, 45 parts never. Ask for a flowchart, and you pay for the instruction file plus 1 type document. The other 26 types cost you nothing. That is textbook progressive disclosure. And here's the part that should sting slightly for anyone writing skills. The official set's own median body is 129 lines, and this file is 538 bigger than the official median, and yet architecturally more disciplined because the size is in the layer that only loads when relevant. The lesson I'd take, a big skill isn't a long file. It's a small file with a big library behind it. The gate that refuses to draw. Now the thing I haven't seen anywhere else, and the reason I think this repository deserves the attention it's getting. Section 0 of the file, before any diagram instructions, is a gate. Verbatim. Before generating your first diagram in a new project, verify the style guide has been customized. It then tells the model to check the colors against the shipped defaults, which are named in the file, a paper tone, an ink tone, and a rust accent. And if they're unchanged, stop and ask the user. The prompt it supplies offers 5 options. Pull the palette from your website, extract it from another installed skill, extract it from a local design system folder, paste tokens by hand, or explicitly proceed with the default. 2 details elevate this from nice to genuinely well-engineered. 1. The detection is a one-line heuristic stated plainly. If the accent color differs from the shipped rust value, assume the user already customized, and skip the gate forever after. No state file, no database, no configuration. The artifact remembers by being different from the default. That's the kind of solution you only find after building the complicated version first. 2. It explains itself. The file says why the gate exists, and I'll quote it exactly. Don't silently ship default skin diagrams into a branded project. That's the failure mode this gate exists to prevent. That sentence is the whole professional posture of this repository. The author isn't worried the diagrams will be ugly. They're worried about the specific, real, embarrassing outcome, where you paste a diagram into a company deck and it's wearing somebody else's colors. A skill that names its own failure mode and installs a checkpoint in front of it is thinking like a colleague rather than a tool. And it's the flip side of everything we usually complain about with agents. The whole industry's instinct is to remove friction. This adds friction once at exactly the right moment, and then never again. The taste gate, a checklist that tells the model not to work. There's a second gate, and it's my favorite section in the file. Section 9, titled the pre-output checklist, run before producing any diagram. Some of it is routine, 3 items are not, and I'll read them verbatim. First, would a table or paragraph do the same job? If yes, don't draw. Read that again. It's an instruction file for a diagram generator, telling the model that its own product is often the wrong answer. Not a hedge, a checklist item, in a numbered gate before output. How many of your tools tell you when not to use them? Second, a block titled the remove test. Can I remove any node? Can I merge any 2 nodes with the beautiful qualifier? Do they always travel together? Can I remove any arrow? Is the relationship obvious from layout? Can I remove any label? Does color or shape already signal it? That is a professional designer's actual editing process written down as machine executable instructions. Not make it clean. 4 specific subtractive questions, each with its own test. This is what taste looks like when you decompose it far enough for a model to run it. Third, and this is the discipline that makes diagrams readable, a signal rule. The accent color may be used on 2 elements at most. Followed by, if you've used more, which ones actually deserve focal status? That's the same principle we hold on this channel's own graphics. One color means look here, and using it 5 times means it means nothing. Plus, a complexity budget referenced in the drawing flow. If you're past it, split into an overview plus a detailed diagram, rather than cramming. Here's what I keep coming back to. Yesterday, I counted the official set's screamed imperatives, 3 nevers across 17 skills, and drew the lesson that structure beats capitals. So I ran the same grep here in 538 lines, 0 nevers, 0 always, 0 musts, 0 do nots. Not one raised voice in the entire file. Every constraint is a checklist item, a table, a numbered gate, or a question the model has to answer. This independent developer is, by that measure, more disciplined than the official set, and it lands exactly the thesis I ended yesterday's video on. Whispering isn't a style. It's what instructions look like once the structure is actually doing the work. The scripts and the accessibility surprise. The official doctrine says put precision in code, not prose. 9 Python scripts here, and it's the subject of the biggest one that surprised me. There's a 514-line linter checking the generated output. And what does it enforce most? Accessibility. Its error strings read like this, verbatim. Every diagram's vector graphic must contain a title. The title must be the first child element. It must not be empty. There must be a description element. And the labeling attribute must name the title and description IDs. Accessibility terms appear roughly 28 times across the skill and its scripts. There's a separate 229-line test file for the accessibility linter. Tests for the checker, not just the checker. Think about what that means. A diagram is a picture. To a screen reader, it's a blank rectangle. Unless someone did this work, and the thing enforcing it isn't a policy or a code review. It's a script that runs on the output. So a model that gets sloppy simply fails the check. Precision moved out of language exactly as the doctrine says, and pointed at the least glamorous, most easily skipped requirement in the entire craft. The other scripts are ordinary in the best way. A 588-line icon builder that fetches and normalizes an icon set, and a 61-line utility that repairs mangled text encoding. That last one exists because somebody hit that bug at 3 in the morning and decided never again. Footguns, documented as tools, the official doctrine executed by an individual. And that security policy and third-party license file I flagged earlier, now they fit the pattern. This is a repository behaving like maintained software, not a weekend upload. The import path and the honest word inside it. One more section deserves its own minute, because it's the part with the clearest commercial logic and a word in it I didn't expect. The skill imports, pointed at diagram files from the popular drawing tool, or at diagram as text source, and it redraws them. And the redraw isn't a conversion. It's a re-render at your chosen settings, format, canvas size, and detail level. Think about who that's for. Every company has a folder of diagrams somebody made in a drawing tool 4 years ago. Accurate, ugly, and unusable in a deck. This turns that folder into an input. The migration story is the adoption story, and it's the single most commercially sensible thing in the repository from someone charging nothing for it. But here's the word that caught me. The import flow requires the model to produce what the file calls a Fidelity ledger, a report of what survived the redraw and what didn't. A ledger, because a faithful reproduction and a simplified for audience version are different documents. And if a machine silently drops 3 boxes while making your architecture diagram prettier, you now have a diagram that lies. The skill's answer is, redraw freely, but hand back an account of the changes. That's the same instinct as the style gate and the taste checklist pointed at a third failure mode. 3 times. Now this file has stopped to consider the specific way its own output could quietly embarrass the person using it. That's not a feature list. That's a temperament. And it's rarer in software than talent. Who pays? Standing rule when something this good is free? Find the invoice. This time I read the whole repository looking for it, and as far as I can see, there isn't one. MIT license. No hosted service, no paid tier mentioned in the files, no sponsor links in the README, no affiliate codes, no telemetry I found. It's a portfolio piece and a professional gift. Someone with real design skill wrote down their process precisely enough for a machine to follow it, and published the whole thing. That's the first flavor of free on our scale, and it's the rarest one at the top of a trending page. The realistic returns are reputation and the pull requests of strangers. But there is a second-order answer worth naming, and it's the strategic story of the day. When one person's single skill can outrank every framework on GitHub, the value in this ecosystem has moved. Not to the model, that's swappable. Not to the framework, this beat all of them without being one. To codified expertise. Someone's actual taste, decomposed into checklists a model can run. That's a new category of artifact, and today it's the most valuable thing on the page. Honest limits. 4. 1. I read it, I didn't run it. No installation, no generated diagrams, no verification that the output looks as good as the gallery suggests. This is a craft audit of the instruction file and its scripts. 2. My measurements are a snapshot, 538 lines, 144 description words, 37 reference files, 0 screamed imperatives. True for the tree I pulled this morning, the file is version 2.2 and clearly moving. 3. The multi-agent claim is the readmes not mine. It states support for 3 different agents. I verified the install instructions exist, not that all three behave identically. 4. Quality is the one thing I can't measure from source. A checklist that says, would a table do the same job, is excellent design if the model actually stops. Whether it does, that's a live test, and it's the honest gap between reading a skill and using one. Step back, because the two videos together make one argument I didn't expect to be making this week. Yesterday, the format's authors published the reference implementation: short bodies, pushy descriptions, precision in code, structure instead of shouting. Today, the #1 repository on GitHub is one person's single skill that follows those principles more strictly than the official set does in places. 0 raised voices, a 15-to-1 on-demand ratio, a linter enforcing the requirement everyone skips while deliberately breaking the description guidance for a reason the guidance doesn't cover. That combination is the actual news. The craft is now legible enough that an individual can execute it at a professional standard and be rewarded within a day. No framework, no company, no model of their own. A folder, and the 2 gates are what I'll carry into everything I write from now on. A gate that stops and asks before it does branded work in your name, and a checklist that asks whether the work should exist at all. We spend all our time teaching agents to do more. The best instruction file on GitHub today spends its first section and its last checklist teaching one to do less, on purpose, at exactly 2 moments. So here's my question, and I'll pin it below. What's the one thing your agent should refuse to do until it asks you first? Not a capability you want, a gate you want. Mine is anything that ships in front of a client with defaults still in it, which is precisely the gate this author wrote. Post yours as a single sentence phrase the way this file phrases it: the check and the failure mode it prevents. The best ones in this comment section are going to be worth more than most published skills. Every link, the repository, the instruction file, the accessibility linter, the reference folder, and yesterday's full read of the official set that this one is measured against is in the description. Open the checklist section first. It's 20 lines and it's a design education. That's the standard here. The whole repository actually read, the rules measured, the quotes verbatim, and the credit given, especially when an independent developer out-executes a lab. If you'd rather own your tools than rent them, subscribe. That's what we do every single day. I'll see you in the next one.